I know Tanya at Marlin, and she shot out stuff for us very quickly on Friday afternoon, which was helpful. But I know we missed like countdown, but
if you can still see it.
Yeah,
I'm okay.
I'm not on that today. Like that. Diana, I thought, was keeping track of those contacts.
the PIOs. Well, for us, like on Friday when we were able to open our pool and we wanted to send it out for the cooling centers, I just forwarded the information that Lauren sends to like the county and things like that. And Tanya was able to shoot it out. But because I'm a Moreland parent too, like I saw it pop up on my text and I like know immediately that it works. But I was like, there's the Campbell Use families that we didn't have. And then I saw Robert Bravo sent it for the high school district, but they had opened Camden Community Center for like cooling centers and stuff. So
I know that our Twitter feed reposts.
it does
Cooling.
repost stuff. So
Yeah.
on Twitter and stuff. I
Is
know.
this everybody?
Lauren
I think
Council.
Lauren's on her way in. I
Yes,
saw her.
she was running a little bit late.
Oh, Shelley's here.
Yeah. Oh.
Or Dr. Grimm.
There's Shelley. Hi. Anyone else from the library coming?
Hi, Shelley. Can you hear us okay?
I can. Thanks for letting me join remotely. Much more convenient.
Perfect. Hopefully it's cool where you're at.
So far, I had a plan all set to go if our grids went down, though, how to get the kids somewhere else.
Well, your power provider appreciates that. So welcome, everyone. Nice to see you. Time has come and gone. It's September 2022. Doesn't seem possible. So we will call to order the Education Subcommittee for today, which is September, what is it, 6th? Yeah. And to protect our constituents, city officials and city staff, and the city requests that all members of the public follow the guidance of the California Department of Health Services and the County of Santa Clara Health Office's orders to help control the spread of COVID-19. Additional information regarding COVID-19 is available on the city's website at www.campbellca.gov. And we go forward and we'll just do a quick round the table list of introductions. I'm not sure everybody knows everybody because we still have a relatively new meeting here. So
Hi, I'm Richard Nguyen. I'm with the Campbell Union School District. I'm on the school board and glad to see our superintendent here as well.
Hi, I'm Clover Cott. I'm the superintendent of the Moreland School District. Hi, Shelley. Hi, I'm Jennifer Weeks, and I'm the county librarian for the Santa Clara County Library District. And I've come today because Peggy Tomaso very happily retired from her role as community librarian at Campbell Library. So I don't need your names. It's nice to see you all.
I'm Natasha Bissell. I'm the Recreation and Community Services Director for the City of Campbell.
And I'm Lauren, Councilmember Recreation Supervisor for the City of Campbell.
Susan Landry, Campbell City Council. Shelley, we'll go to you next since you're right there.
Shelley Veramonta, Superintendent for Campbell School District. Nice to see everybody.
Good.
Brian Leventhal, City Manager here in Campbell.
And Liz Gibbons, council member in Campbell. So we have an opportunity to do public comment. Is there anyone in the public? I see no one listed in the public there. And seeing none, we will return to the agenda. We have a couple of unfinished items, including the reason we have our county librarian with us today. So Jennifer, would you like to take over?
I would love to tell you a little bit about the library. So first off, thanks guys. And it is the beginning of school. And while summer certainly is also a great time for us with summer reading, the back to school and reading with you all is a great chance to remind you of what the Santa Clara County Library has in store for your students. So we of course have student e-accounts, and Shelley, kudos again to Campbell Unified. Was one of the first to sign up with us. So over 90,000 students throughout the county have their student e-account. So those are ready for kids to log on to the student portal, have access to online tutoring, have access to all of the resources that will help them most as they kick off their school year. Additionally, we are going to start in-person homework help at most of our libraries. Campbell here, as we breathlessly await the remodel, is still happily housed in the community center, but Cupertino and Saratoga will be beginning in-person homework help with tutors later this month. So stay tuned. We'll continue to get that information out, and certainly happy to share with your students so they can take advantage of those things. In addition, of course, even our littlest learners, we have our in-person story times are all back. So the Campbell Community Center kindly gives us space, and they are having outdoor, indoor, all kinds of different activities for the little learners as well as the community center. We have a really exciting lineup of author visits and things that I'd love to push out through the high schools and through the school district. In November, we have the Smithsonian exhibit with Dolores Huerta is going to be a panelist on November 12th down in Gilroy. We are really excited to see this rock star really of the area. She's 93 years old. She will be joining the panelists, and the Smithsonian exhibit will open on November 5th and run through January 23. So lots of opportunities for class visits, for engagement in lots of different ways. So I did bring some flyers, which I'll leave here on the table. Additionally, right there in the Campbell Heritage Theater, we're kicking off our Distinguished Author series with Emily Chang, who wrote Growtopia. So she will be there. And we are excited about continuing to offer community programs really outside of the library. So Emily Chang, Sylvia Marie, and Dr. Daphne Miller. And again, we're doing one at the Heritage Theater and others throughout the community. So we can really encourage people to find out a little bit about the library. Hispanic Heritage Month kicks off September 15th. And again, there will be opportunities for all kinds of different speaker series. We have some great book lists and other things in combination with what the town is doing around these cultural events. That's a highlight of what's going on here in Campbell. We are just so grateful to be kind of working in partnership with the city as we continue to imagine that new space. Brian, your team's wonderful here, so very thoughtfully, considering our next steps on there. And we really have found positive outcomes from being at the community center, being there for people through the summer, being there when they're perhaps there for other business, but really taking that opportunity to provide core services throughout Campbell with that service. Happy to take any questions. It did say library website at one point, and I wasn't quite sure what that referred to, but happy to answer any questions.
It's to show where all the resources are.
Oh, okay.
And what's really on there.
So I think the student portal is probably what we really want to kind of push out through the school. And I know we have individual information per school district. So what I'd like to do is ensure that my communications team is reaching out to all of yours and making sure that you have that information so that your families and students can be most successful. So I'll make sure to do that. And that is, again, logging with their student account and getting them right to the heart of the matter.
So also we're changing, sorry. Go ahead, Shelley.
Yeah, I just had one clarification question. Did you say that the in-person tutors were or were not also at the Campbell Library
There's
location?
no room at the Campbell, at the Express. So Saratoga and Cupertino, yes.
We'll work, Shelley, to find a space for Campbell at the community center.
Sounds great.
Air conditioning. There was also some questions about some of the new rollout of some of your new programs for books and different things. And didn't you change that recently over the summer?
A new rollout. Well, I think what we're beginning to normalize is certainly how people use the library in person and how they use it virtually, right, or through our digital collections. So we are continuing to expand those collections. Someone recently said they were so pleased to see their hold come to quit more quickly as a digital book. And I said, well, yeah, I don't have to put stickers on it. I don't have to put it through anything, but we are continuing to look at how we can really meet those needs in terms of making sure that people can get through to those ebooks, to the downloadable content right from the website. They don't even need to come into the library, although continuing certainly with all of our bestsellers and other kinds of instant materials, of course, from the library.
So Clover, you haven't had a chance really to meet Jennifer.
Not in person.
So I don't know how many questions or anything you might have, because our libraries are so wonderful and really available to your students.
I think you guys are connected with our public information officer who's been pushing out information to our schools, families. So I think we're connected. If we're not, let me know.
We're waiting for your data, but we are good to go. But now I hear air.
Yay.
Okay. Yeah, we're in
Okay.
contact. Yep, absolutely.
Any other questions? Well, we're excited for Peggy and sad for us. I look forward to see who will be our next community librarian. I've been here for quite a few, so we might make it for the last 3 months or more. So that would be great.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Jennifer.
Thank you. And the next item is a discussion, probably Brian, as an update on the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, last time we met in the beginning of the summer, we had trying to coordinate with the school district, the Campbell School District, and our IT to try to address the issue of Wi-Fi for everyone and community access to everyone. I understood that there was a project that the school district was embarking upon to try to overcome that digital divide with their students. There was some hurdles that they couldn't overcome in some areas of the city, in particular, the area north of the community center, south of Rosemary, that sort of area of the city. We had offered to have our IT manager reach out to Trevor, I think, at the school district, and they have done so and have had some at least preliminary conversations on the problem, so to speak, and defining that. And they've come up with some alternatives of which they choose to pursue or not pursue. There was a couple of sort of no-cost alternatives, which is as we're rolling out our and making our Wi-Fi at the community center more robust, certainly students are welcome to come to our campus and use that Wi-Fi just as if they would go to a Starbucks or any other Wi-Fi facility. As Natasha and the council members know, council has provided more money from the ARPA, the American Rescue Plan funds to really ramp up our Wi-Fi. There's obviously supply chain issues that would have happened already, but we're still waiting for the equipment to completely roll that out. That's a no-cost option. Another no-cost option was to encourage AT&T, who is our FirstNet provider. FirstNet is the service that we use for public safety computers and phone systems. And that FirstNet is an investment by these providers, whether it's AT&T or Verizon. FirstNet is their opportunity for public safety, really give priority and make sure that there's a frequency that can be used and availability for Wi-Fi. Where we find also some overlapping weaknesses in our community is in that same neighborhood north of the community center, not to the extent where there's public safety ramifications, but we could look at leveraging that public safety approach to ramping up that Wi-Fi. It's just not as adequate in that area, even for public safety. Does meet our needs, doesn't meet the needs that we have here. So there could be some leveraging. That's additional service that they would provide to ramp that up, kind of leveraging public safety. There's no cost for that. The other options including creating a digital nest by extending the community center Wi-Fi footprint beyond there would be additional cost to that. To the parking lot, track and fields beyond. We probably couldn't extend it from the community center much further than the fields. And then the additional cost to consider extending the county network connection. And I'm glad you're here, Jennifer, because we have a county network connection for the county library at the community center. And one of the alternatives, there would be additional cost to that would be to extend that Wi-Fi system. So those are the four alternatives they're approaching. They were going to meet again before this meeting, I think last week, but our IT manager has got that COVID thing. So that meeting's got delayed. It'll be a follow-up meeting they have to pursue, talk about prioritizing these alternatives.
I ask a question
Sure.
on those, on the options that have a cost, is that adding an antenna in that neighborhood or just upping the signal?
Those would be antenna, primarily equipment cost.
So they would,
Antennas or other equipment.
because that was how this started, was get an antenna on a pole that we own.
Well, and so part of that is just beyond the community center. So what can we broadcast from the community center out that will cover that area without having to look for other facilities? Certainly looking at telephone poles and providing that is much more expensive.
Because you said the signal from the library couldn't get past the fields.
Right now, without
Now,
additional
okay.
equipment or additional antennas, correct?
And that's the main area that you guys were concerned about.
Yeah, so the area around, I guess, the Rosemary school area, and if Shelley wants to add anything else, I'm happy to.
Sure. I've always got something to add, and I was actually just on the phone with one of our after school programs. Unfortunately, that power did go out, so we're working on getting kids picked up. And what my IT director had shared with me is, first of all, he loves the partnership, and we appreciate that the city is helping with this, and bolstering the community center Wi-Fi helps, but it doesn't necessarily travel far enough for that highest need area. And so we're still looking at being able to, I think what we need is some sort of tower situation so we can get above some of the apartment buildings so there's greater access. So we're working also with the city of San Jose around that area. So the hope is if we get something from both directions that we'll be able to penetrate. And since I have you all captive and many of you have other relationships and connections, one thing that I've been pitching, as Richard knows, is the idea that all Section 8 housing would be required to have Wi-Fi as part of that facility. And so I really feel like that's an equal access piece that we should also be looking to implement. So my director just gave me an update of how great it is that your IT guy was so supportive in working with us. So thank you for that.
How would we advocate for that, for Section 8 housing to have?
I just put a note down. We don't have Evan Lowe as our assembly person anymore. He used to do at Christmas, a tree, and you'd put down your recommendations for new legislation. So we could reach out to Berman or Cortese, because he will be ours for another couple of years, and ask them to do a bill that requires Section 8 housing to have Wi-Fi. They're doing it for EV charging and different things in public housing, so it's not that far from the tree. That's what I would suggest as the next step on that, and maybe we can.
We do a joint
I
letter.
was just gonna say, could we do a joint
Yeah,
letter?
let's do it.
So I think that would be, being candid, I think that's a very good idea, because Assemblymember Berman is running in this district for the first time, and he's been a no-show so far. So I think it would be very good press for him
Yeah.
to find a connection.
So I will say he's trying to be mindful not to encroach on Assemblymember Lowe's current district, but I know I've talked to him, and so I'll try to also advocate personally, but how would we like to proceed with doing a letter? I think on our end, we could draft up a letter, and then we can pass it around to the city council as well as your school district, and maybe get the high school district involved as well. And then send it to let's just send it to all of our current and future representatives.
Would be good. So why don't we follow up more specifically, if I may suggest a subcommittee from Portland and Campbell Union to draft a letter. And then you all have Diana's communication contact information. And maybe Jennifer, you could also be one of the I'm trying to think. So we could have every primary sign. I'm just thinking who would sign it, primary, and who would support it. So would we want to have everybody, like we could say the council from Campbell, a council from whatever. We could say the Santa Clara County Library, signed by you. What else can we do? Who else?
I think you could do superintendent board, and I'm sure I could get my board to sign, so
Okay.
superintendent board, right? I
Okay.
have 2 school districts.
Okay.
Valley Mission, West Valley Mission.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Okay,
That's Valley
And
Mission.
also someone
And then
from
the high
San
school.
Jose.
I could. Okay, let's do this.
Is it still
Yeah.
Is it Chappie that has the Rosemary area?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
Rosemary Kamei will also
Yeah.
be taking over, and we have a good relationship with her. And then also, I know my board president has connections with San Jose City College. Isn't that correct, Richard? Or
I
was
do,
that-
so I know several trustees and whatnot, so we can make this into a bigger coalition, but I also like your idea of let's do this here, and then get people on board as opposed to trying to accommodate everyone at the.
So would it be appropriate to have the 2 of you kind of come up with a letter
Sure.
and then have your IT person kind of write the need? Somehow you need the problem statement.
Yeah,
We have a problem statement. They've already crafted that. He has that.
Okay.
We do have a problem statement crafted, so.
perfect, I'll take it.
I can even send you this.
Yeah. So having the problem statement and then identifying the collaboration that all of these people are doing.
Right,
And then the action we want to have taken is legislation. Right, that's the action we're
Yeah.
looking for. The action we're requesting is legislation that would require all Section 8 housing to have
I got a question.
free
Accessible Wi-Fi.
accessible Wi-Fi.
When we toured the Section 8 housing over on Rincon, Anna Eshu was there. Isn't Section 8 federal?
Yes,
So why are we not also contacting her office and whoever else we?
yeah, we can definitely.
That
do
wasn't on the list of who to,
that's a good
the
point.
local was Cortese. And I would say, even though Berman doesn't want to encroach on Low come November.
Yes, and
For election.
You should- Yeah,
I mean,
You wanted
he's
to
ignoring us.
if you wanted, so I don't know, I don't want to speak on behalf of him, but I know that, we have also invited him to come to our schools. And he said he wanted to be respectful, but he did meet with people.
He's campaigning. He's going to be elected in November. He's unopposed.
I'll let him know that you're gonna give him his campaign strategy.
You can tell him people are noticing that he's a no-show.
Okay,
yeah,
Not the only one.
okay.
okay.
Well, what I will say is, what we can do is we'll write that letter in conjunction. Should we also provide a template resolution that boards can
Makes
vote
it
on?
easier.
That would be
Okay.
That'd be
superb.
great.
Yeah, that would be superb.
Okay.
Do we also want to write the governor?
Yeah,
I mean, once you start with the legislative process, it makes sense to connect with everybody. So that makes sense. And it was very good of you to mention Anna because Section 8, we of course have most of, I wouldn't say most, but a large chunk of Campbell's Section 8 are seniors. But we'll support whatever it takes and Anna's office will be very supportive.
Yeah, we had a great tour of the one on Rincon, was
Yeah,
it?
in Rincon Gardens.
Yeah, and I think they already do have Wi-Fi. I remember there was some discussion there,
Yeah.
but yeah, because she's,
But what we're hoping to do is the purpose of this is for families to have it for the kids to do their schoolwork.
I know, but I just,
Yes.
Once it's there, it's for everybody,
For
right?
everyone.
Yeah.
But I think you're right that we need to approach everyone because
Mhm.
Congress can be a bit slow, but hopefully that is something that is nationwide, but
Mhm.
hopefully our state and our county. So we'll also probably include our county supervisors.
Let's just do it.
Let's just do everyone.
But I'm being a bit of a nuisance, I know, but it would be a good thing for Berman to put forward as a representing his new district.
I will call him after this meeting and let him. know.
Or
I'll ask him.
disappointment, disappointment.
But I think that should give some energy behind it.
Okay.
Yes, I think that's superb.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Our subcommittee.
Yes.
Thank you.
And by subcommittee, we mean just passing emails, right?
Yes.
Not that I don't love meetings. but,
That's what we need.
yeah.
And Brian will let Diana know that she'll be receiving something from you.
Perfect.
And I think if you could, on their transmittal, just list everybody you're thinking we should contact. And then we'll figure out how to do that. We can take that on, Brian.
So the people listed as signers are Campbell Union High School, Moreland,
We'll do
West
all,
Valley. What else?
we'll do all the
Library.
elementary.
Okay.
All the elementary.
And then do we want a county board of supervisor on the sign list? Do we want Susan on there?
We can.
We can.
I-
Why don't you get through it?
Yeah.
Think about it, strategize on what you think is the best way.
Knowing Shelley, she already has a plan.
Well, I
Well,
just
my
think it's
plan
great
was
that
we
we're
would
helping
do-
you
I-
guys.
I like the idea of several, so I'm thinking we do one as this Campbell consortium with everybody who has fingers in this. And then Clover, we would take it to the county soups
County.
and try to engage then with all of the superintendents in the county and the county board,
If you
things like
give them
that.
the template, sometimes districts are more on board to kind of go, it's a cut and paste situation and really sign off on it. You could make a lot of headway.
This is great.
Great,
Great advocacy, Shelley.
Yeah.
Thank
well
you.
done. Well done. That's exciting. So two good things today.
Yes.
And then Brian, just to say, we're going to continue following up with the IT departments. See what-
Yeah, they'll start looking at those alternatives and seeing how feasible they are. The quickest way to get this thing done.
So my question was, we're doing the community center. But is it really of much value to do the fields and things? I mean, would the kids go sit in the stands or?
It wouldn't be so much the fields, we would be trying to get it out as far as possible
We
beyond.
need to get it past Latimer dumpster area out that
You
way.
just broadcasting it out
it
to the community,
dies.
not so much for people coming to the field, but trying. to get-
Currently at the field line. So if you have a stronger signal, it can be, I think, caught up farther out. I think that's the thing is that IT is not looking to create new spots. They're trying to take one that's a real strong signal and drag it as far as they can.
Okay, so is that clear?
Yep.
Okay,
Do we have a cost on those cost items?
No. What cost?
Because getting some through legislation is not going to happen quickly, and that we've designated some ARPA money can we get some level of cost on putting an
We don't know,
antenna?
we will, yes, we will. Let's see what.
they have to figure out what options can actually get, as you was just saying, but can go from the San Jose side and what can go from the Campbell.
Right, I get that. I'm just saying, if we're gonna meet again in a month, it'd be nice to have a ballpark if we can, because legislation is gonna take a long time. And who are we coordinating with in San Jose, their IT?
We haven't coordinated anything in San Jose. It's just
And
been,
Shelley.
it's been Shelley's IT director and our AT manager. That's it.
Because we have the Rosemary that's right there in Castlemont, that's right there, that would support that side of San
And
Jose.
Monroe,
We've also been in conversations with San Jose City College, which could potentially throw out signals in that
oh,
direction.
that's good. And Monroe, there too, I've been told that north of Hamilton, between Hamilton and Monroe, the signals don't exist too. I don't know if, so that's really another pocket of where service is needed.
Mhm.
Okay. Great.
Yeah. I always feel like whenever I come to this meeting specifically, we always get something done. Always something more,
Thank you.
so.
We
always
like that.
Yeah.
Fine. You tried.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anything else that anyone would like to bring up to come back and accomplish something next time? And we usually meet every 2 months, if that still works. Okay.
I
Any-
have one.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if it's Shelley, if Anna Eshu's office has reached out to you about the gun violence event she's having tomorrow.
This is the first I'm hearing of it.
Okay. I
She's-
think she
she's
was
moved it.
targeting high school. Oh, she moved it.
It was going to be in here in Campbell, but they've moved it. It's going to be in San Jose at the city hall.
Okay.
Yeah.
But she reached out to me asking what schools, and when I said I'd contact one of the elementary school districts, she said no, more high school or college.
But Campbell does have on its work plan, and hopefully before I leave council, we're going to have a discussion on guns and gun violence. Going to have a community meeting on that.
Mhm.
So we will engage all of you
Thank you.
on that. So we'll see.
Do we want to put that then on our agenda for the
Sure.
next meeting so we can at least get a sense of if it's going to be on the agenda this year, Brian?
The intent is to have it this fall sometime. This next group's meeting would be November. Hopefully we will have that discussion before that, so we'll tee it up and make sure we include everyone in that. Once we get that scheduled.
Appreciate that.
All is good. Anyone else? Shelley, any other brainstorming ideas?
Not yet, but you know, the good news is I know where to find you all.
Always a challenge. I wanted to bring up one thing, and it's come up twice recently, which is we're trying to improve our reach to the communities for various city events. And we're doing the general plan and the housing element and a whole bunch of other things. And would you be amenable, the school districts and the library, if we utilized your distribution network, if we sent you a little announcement or flyer? You put that in your announcements? Sure.
I'll defer to Shelley.
So
Yeah, we do electronic announcements, and so I'm sure they come via Peach Jar and then they go out that way.
okay. All right, so I'll just forward. So Diana is our contact person and she knows how to reach out to all of you. So if you see something or hear about it, that's what it's for. We're trying to find a
Shelley,
reach out.
Is Peach Jar the only option for Campbell Union School District? Are those a pay for
No,
service?
No, we use Parent Square and we
Okay.
have our electronic newsletters. And so if it's in electronic format, we just find that the Levi Express doesn't have a very, very strong getting from student to parent. So we've gone almost entirely electronic.
The Levi Express, is that what you call it?
Yeah. Very, very low actual delivery rate on that.
It took me a minute, but I did get that.
I thought that's what she said. It took me a minute. I called it the sneaker net, but that's okay.
Oh, that's great. All right.
I have a question. I don't think the high school district has been at our last couple meetings.
Hasn't been here for a whole year, yeah.
Yeah, so do we have a person to contact to talk to, or do you want to reach out to them?
We
I mean,
got,
they're right here now.
I know,
Oh,
know.
so
They're-
Robert Bravo.
I know that the school board members still meet at the old district office.
Oh, really?
So that might be why, but JC Brown is now the president, so
And she's retiring now.
that is also true.
As are you, right?
No, I am on the ballot. But I'm not here to talk about politics.
Well, I know there's a lot of churning going around on a lot of school boards and a lot of elective office too. So
Yes.
it's a dynamic time.
Yes.
Okay, so contacting Stacy. Can do that. You or I could do that.
And one last thing, and it's more towards probably you, because we only have the elementary schools. Because we're working on our general plan and housing element, if you have any government classes, like a couple times over the years before COVID, the high schools would show up.
Yes.
Their government classes, they'd make the kids sit through the whole thing, and then we had to sign a paper saying they attended it. But you know, we got the housing element, the general plan. This is really to our kids' future. And if there's any, that's where I was wondering where the high school was. But yeah, if there's anything you can pass down to the Westmont and Foothill saying, you know, professors, if you want really some good action going on at council, that's a great day to come and hear them speak. And
Yeah, I know that they often do that. And I think in the past, even our school board has received a trickle of students coming in to watch our meetings, which that's awesome. So you're right. Housing is probably one of the most important issues for the next generation, if not our generation. So
we had a crowd of high school students one night. They all rebel roused behind one guy, and they made him stand up, and they're all clapping. He gets up and he wants a movie night, I think, or something. It was great. I mean, they got him up to speak, and just to have him hear what we're doing. Housing and general plans our future. So,
And we have the students,
youth commission.
youth commission,
yeah.
and we take seventh graders, right?
Yes.
Seventh grade, and it's always nice for the students to know that that's an opportunity coming for them.
Absolutely.
Can you send me information about that? I don't know if we've got any seventh graders on that or not. But
Yeah, we are, the applications are always in the spring, so we have our commissioners, everybody solidified for this current term, 2022, 2023. But I'd love to share information on the opportunities though for your students
for
to,
next year.
yeah, for
Both
for next-
events they do during the year.
yeah, and the events though, because we have, they'll be putting on several events throughout the next, 9 months.
And they don't meet during the summer, right?
No, it's just a school year, so they had their work plan meeting and they'll be at the state of the city for the pledge and yeah, and they're excited for
They
all to
meet
come.
the second Monday of every month, and those are open to any kid who wants to participate, and they're hybrid models, so they could do similar to this, where they just kind of log in and watch. And they're always welcome to volunteer and participate in that capacity, even if they're not a commissioner. Do we have any more like that? Yeah,
Off the top of my head, sorry.
We have a specialist, and she doesn't work on Tuesdays, and so that's why Lauren's here, she's our supervisor, so. Sorry, that was a
I
tough
can
question.
find, that's okay, I can find out.
We have in the past.
We have in the past,
We have, yeah, and I know we do have at least 2 7th or 8th graders, I believe. Primarily it's usually high school students, but we do have at least a couple, I believe, this term.
And someone just mentioned the state of the city, Mayor Resnikoff is doing a state of the city coming up on
Thursday.
September 22nd.
Thursday a week.
The doors open at 5:30 and the event will begin. Yeah,
At Orchard City Banquet Hall.
I do, and we can send you some soft flyers too.
What day is it on?
September 22nd.
Okay, so then it's not, it's 2 Thursdays. Yeah,
Thursdays.
2 more Thursdays.
So again, that would be something that would be good. I don't know if you organized or anyone's organized doing the pledge for that or whatever.
Yeah, the youth commission.
Good.
Great.
All right, we covered a lot of territory.
Good.
Well done.
Yes.
Okay, going once, going twice.
And this isn't going to be our last meeting with.
No, there'll be another meeting.
Okay, good.
Oh, yeah.
We normally would have met in August, but I think August timing was bad for people, so we moved it to September. Instead of doing August, October, we moved it to September, November. So we'll meet again in November.
One more.
Yeah.
So you'll still be on. Oh, good, good.
After 8 years. All right, thank you all.
Thank you all.
Stay cool and safe.
Thank
And
you.
tomorrow will be a better day.
99.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
99.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
And we're literally in plan. Now,
It's all good.
we are running.
So now we're not 6:45.
6:45, yeah.
There's someone cooler than here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you said this. Doing everything we can.
Off.
So, yeah.
No, it's on. They fine-tuned it. We just want to make sure.
I'm pretty sure it's
Email.
And the council, I walked.
That's why I asked them. I said, that's what better do.
Okay.
And he said, "We did everything we can." It's not-
Should we turn the fans on or not make it worse?
And I'll send you.
It'll feel better. I don't know if it'll help now that.
We're gonna try to get more diversity among the. If for special seventh graders to come and see what it's about, then get excited about applying for, or eighth graders too, who are going to. Yeah, absolutely. And